Yeah. Yeah, come on, finish.
Okay. Come on. Here we go. 1.
All right, while Justin's doing his set, just want to make a point clear. You're gonna leave it to 1. This, you want to stay in external rotation, so supinate your hand on this so your palm is facing your face. And then the limit to how far you go up into this isn't as far as you can get your arm to go. It's as far as you can go without the hand starting to turn. You want this to stay just like this, pointed towards your face, so that you're not allowing it to turn out and internally rotating as you're going up. So as you leave this spot and it starts to internally rotate, your elbow wants to go away from this line that works for your lat very well. Start to internally rotate, your elbow tracks like this. Now you're not aligning to your lat at all. Just getting more range of motion for the sake of it isn't helping you if you now miss the whole target of the exercise because of it. The 25 on the bottom. Don't try it at home, kids. Well, I don't typically warm up too much on a movement like this because I'm pretty well patterned on it and I kind of know what my tolerances are. And because of the limitations of the machine relative to what my strength is really at base for a pattern like this, just a row or of an upper back type, being that my bent over row is so much more than anything that this machine could handle, I don't really have to warm up too much for this. It's more about really limiting how fast I move through the ranges of motion on this so I can take advantage of what this gives me opposed to what another movement like a bench over row would, where it mechanically doesn't line up perfectly. So this is a little bit more accurate and it takes a little bit less of the systemic total from me. So I can recover pretty easily from sessions like this. I don't have to do a ton of extra volume and warming up for things specifically that are set up this way. Yep. Come on. Didn't say it wasn't going to be hard. 3, 2, 1, now. Easy. Come on. Yeah. So we set up like this, using this machine, not having the chest against the pad. Specific reason here. In between sets, I'll give the explanation. So if I were to set up like this, try to hold myself in here with this pin, uneven load distribution using only one arm, the weight's gonna try and pull me this way. It can try and drag me around, even if I try to resist it by like pulling into this, trying to wrap myself into it, unavoidable. I'm gonna start to roll into it this way as the weight tries to pull me. So to get away from that, we need to set up a way for us to resist this force vector of this handle trying to pull that way. Pulling myself in here, or trying to wrap myself in here, that's not the same direction that this is pulling on me. So you want to align your primary brace in the same direction that is trying to pull you. So, hand here against this, so I can put pressure forward into this, while this is trying to pull me this way. Direct opposition. Direct opposition is going to be your best strategy for bracing into every single movement to get the most out of it. If you're getting pulled into extraneous directions because you don't have control over where this is trying to pull you into, you're at the mercy of the machine. And that doesn't do you any good. You need to be in control.
Extraneous is an SAT word.
Yeah. Another note, I stagger my feet so that the same side that's pulling is forward. I draw my legs into each other into this pad so I have another anchor to where I am in space. You're good. I slightly turn over the side of the working side, crunch the oblique just slightly so I can hold my rib cage position, then otherwise keep everything tall. This opposite shoulder, a little bit internally rotated, and I'm using this pressure to actively push myself back so I can expand the rib cage posteriorly. And then pull. Here we go. So those are upper pull downs. Formerly I'd call it Terry's pull down, but I'm definitely using more than Terry's on that only. Part of the goal is full transit of the scaps up into protraction and elevation, then into depression and retraction while moving, and aligning the path in a way that the elbow travels not here to hit a lat pull down motion, but starting from a neutral position like you would on a lat pull down, but allowing the elbow to track where it needs to in relativity to where the scap is trying to move. Scap trying to move forward and up in this diagonal arc as you're getting into the eccentric, down and together into the bottom in this same diagonal path as you come down. You can't really have that happen effectively going from here. You can if it's here. here's where we'll split off. So Justin is gonna go and do some deadlifting.
So I'm actually doing RDLs, not just a traditional deadlift. I'm trying to just do more pulling movements, to be honest with you, from the floor, because with Nick's split and me kind of like jumping in with him at the beginning of the year, we're not doing any like pulling from the floor, so we're not doing like any hip hinges. So I've been putting a hip hinge in either on back day or leg day, just depending on how my lower back is feeling. So today we're gonna do an RDL from the floor. So every rep I'm gonna just completely come to a dead stop on the floor and still hinge like an RDL. I'm not gonna drop my knees down into it like a deadlift. So like it's still a hip hinge if it's a traditional deadlift, but I'm not gonna pull myself close to the bar and actually like stand up with it like this. I'm still gonna be more hinging at the hip. So you'll be able to see the difference here once we jump into it. So each rep I'm really trying to keep like my shin angle as vertical as possible. In a proper conventional deadlift, you'll still try and keep a really high vertical shin angle. We don't want to be shin angle like this. And that forces you to sit really far back into the movement. Loading posterior chain and almost like leveraging the weight up. Deadlifting is all about leverage. So for example, if I was gonna do this like a conventional deadlift, I would drop my hips a lot more into the movement. This is probably gonna look pretty ugly since I'm pretty gassed. But as you saw previously, I really sat back and pulled from here. Now this, I'm actually gonna drop my hips. I'm gonna have contact with the bar with my shin right before I pull. But as you can see here, before I actually drop my hips, I'm not touching the barbell with my shins. So, engage my lats. Here's my starting position right here. And then I stand up with it. So there's a lot more leg drive, especially from the quad, in a conventional deadlift versus an RDL. All right guys, so that wraps it up for the video today. Still have a little bit of like accessory movements, like one side delt and some biceps after this, but that's kind of the meat and potatoes. So what we're gonna do next time is we're gonna stagger the session a little bit. So we'll actually start the filming more towards the middle of the session so you can see the latter half of the workout. So that way it switches some things up. You can actually see then, you can kind of piece together across a couple different videos what we're doing in its entirety on our pull days. We're gonna start doing this on our leg days as well as our push days. So you can start to see from start to finish exactly what we're doing. So if you guys have made it this far, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and turn the post notifications on so that way you can be updated every time we upload a new video on Camp Jansen. Trying to put one out every Monday at noon Eastern. So just tune in. We appreciate all the support. We'll catch you guys next time.